Alright guys, this is part 2. Today is still November 11th, 2016, and I'm still Zach, but I wanted to let you guys know how things went on my second day in Chicago. So, of course, on Tuesday, I was absolutely exhausted from an entire day of travel, wearing myself out, getting there, having the MRI. It was a really long day. Plus, it was election night. On Tuesday. That was when the fate of our country was being determined, and it was a little bit crazy. We basically had the news on all night, but we had it kind of low so that we could listen. I literally woke up out of a dead sleep when I heard the words Hillary Clinton conceded, and I was like, what? Like, kind of freaked out. Whatever. So I didn't sleep all that great the first night. I couldn't get my body temperature regulated. I was under the covers, and then I was like really, really hot. And then I would get out from under the covers, and then I'm like all sweaty, and then I was cold and freezing. I might have had a fever. I don't know. It was just awful. So when I got up Wednesday morning, my appointment with Dr. Burt wasn't until 4:20 in the afternoon. So I was like, okay. We had already booked. I had already bought tickets for us to do an architectural boat cruise in Chicago, so I was really excited about that. But I just didn't feel like doing it. When I got up in the morning, I was like, God, I'm so tired. I didn't want to go to breakfast. I just wanted to crawl into a hole somewhere and die, because I was just so tired. But I said, okay. We went down for breakfast, came up, I was like, let's just give it an hour and then reassess. That was like my mantra from this trip, because we weren't even going to go get deep dish Chicago pizza because it just didn't feel like going back out again. And I was like, look, just give me an hour and then we'll reassess. And then I'm okay. Like, I just need some recovery time before I take on this stuff. So we did the boat tour. It was wonderful. I'll have to put some pictures around so you guys can see them. It was pretty fantastic. After the boat tour, we came back. We had a little bit of lunch. Our lunch was actually leftover deep dish pizza because that's what we had left over from last night. So that was kind of cool. And then we went to a shopping place. Apparently, there's a mall in Chicago called the Water Tower Mall, and it's big. I mean, it's like a 7-floor mall, and it kind of reminds me of the Charleston Town Center, except 7 stories of that, And I guess to some extent, if you've been to a shopping mall, you've been to the mall. They're malls, lots of shopping, stuff to buy, things like that. So we did that, and then we came back and we hung out in the hotel while we basically I had like a really nice nap. It was a really great nap, and then I was ready to go see Dr. Burt. So we walked over to Galter Pavilion, which was the building that he was in. I had all my paperwork, my MRI CDs, like I had everything I needed. Got there a little bit early. They were ready for me. And again, like, this place was also really nice, kind of like a hotel. They were ready for me. They were waiting, like, okay, cool. My appointment was at 4:20, but I didn't actually make it to see Dr. Burt until close to 7. I'm sure he's busy, doing what he does. He's a world-renowned doctor, doesn't have a whole lot of time. I get it, but it was hard for me because I had spent so much time. I showed you guys all of my pages that I had synthesized. 12 years of like MS history I had condensed down into 5 pages, and he comes in the room and I'm like ready to go over this, and he's not really interested in that because it was way more detail than he needed. He's like, so when did this start? I was like, October 2005 is when I was diagnosed. What were the symptoms? And it was just really fast. It was very rapid fire. Here's a question. Here's this. Here's that. And I spent so much time preparing. I felt like I had this script, and I was going to read my script. Here's my script. And there, if you have any questions or anything else you want to know after this, let me know. But it was like, that's too much. I don't have time for that. So here's a question, and then I'm like struggling to get the responses out because it was a little bit embarrassing for me because I felt like I probably looked a little incompetent, or maybe just, I don't know, confused. Maybe he thought I had more holes in my brain than, I don't know. So he asked me a bunch of these questions, and we go through it. And then he tells me, he's like, well, I don't know if I can help you. He said, but you have 5 new lesions from your last MRI, 4 of which are enhancing. He's like, and I think that maybe this might help you a little bit. And I think Dr. Burt and I don't know because we didn't have like a conversation, but I think that we might have differing views on what is considered help. I think with Dr. Burt's study, he's really trying to take on patients that it will reverse their disability, at least 1 point on the EDSS scale. If he doesn't think that he can help you by reversing your disability at least 1 point on the EDSS scale, I think he's less likely to accept you in the procedure. So for me, I think there was definitely some hesitation. I was already like in the wheelchair when I went to go see him. He's trying to figure out what I can do. Like, can you dress yourself? Can you feed yourself? Like, can you shower by yourself? Like, what? Trying to figure out what I could do. Like, because I basically just looked helpless, but based on, he did a presentation in Denmark, and I had watched that presentation and listened to the Q&A session at the end. And one of the big things that he says, no inflammation, no response. So if there isn't activity, if there's no activity going on in the brain, then he doesn't really think that it's going to help you at all. My understanding of HSCT, especially through the other forums that I've joined, the research that I've done, the other study centers around the world that are doing this procedure, they don't claim to reverse the disease or reverse the symptoms. They only claim to halt disease progression. In my mind, that's helpful. That's very helpful. I would prefer not to continue being mauled by this bear. So when he was kind of like, it's like, well, what will this do for you? Like, I don't know if this will help you or not. I'm like, if we just stop progression, then we're in good shape. I said, I need to be able to keep singing. That's basic. I was like, I need to maintain what I've got. I've got one bum leg, but the rest of it kind of works okay. And I'd like to keep it kind of working okay. So he gave me, the statistics, this is what could happen. These are the chances of something going wrong. They're very low, blah, 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 but it was... And then he thanked me for my time, and then he left. And I'm thinking, well, I'm trying to thank him for his time. But the nurse practitioner stayed behind, and she gave me the lowdown of what was going to happen and what was next, in the process. So right now, we're waiting for my insurance to approve the process, which I spoke with Becky this morning, who is my nurse practitioner at Dr. Burt's office. And she said that she's working on my insurance letter right now. She'll probably get it out early next week. Yay! So I was excited about that. I know it's going to go fast. It's going to go really fast. But it can't go faster than my washout, because my washout still have to go 3 months. That's a whole other thing. So fast forward, plane ride home, okay, whatever. Well, while we're there, since I have 5 new lesions, 4 of which are enhancing, there's still disease activity, which is why he's taking me. Part of me thinks if I hadn't stopped taking my Tecfidera 2 or 3 weeks ago, then I might not have that active inflammation, and he might not have taken me. I don't know if that's the case, or when my doctor offered me steroids a month ago, if that would have stopped the inflammation, and then I go see Dr. Burt, and then there's still no inflammation. I'm not sure. The stars just aligned so perfectly that now I'm going to be getting this therapy, so that's really exciting. I have about a minute left. Real quick. So since I have this active lesion, I have to do 5 days of steroids. I have to stop the fire that's going on in my brain right now. And since I'm not taking any more MS medication until probably February, he thinks that I should probably do the steroids at least once monthly to kind of keep it down. So that's what's going on there. Well, I called my doctor this morning to set this up. He is having surgery and will be out of the office for a month. So I can't wait a month to get my steroids. I need to put this fire out like now. So I called Dr. Burt. There's some more loopholes and some stuff that we're trying to do. I'm trying to get Dr. Burt to actually write me and send the stuff down so that I can get on go to St. Mary's and get this taken care of, hopefully sooner rather than later. But anyway, that's my second half of the trip. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, but that's all I got for you guys today. I am so tired and I'm so done. I just want to stop Anyway, love and light to all you wonderful people. Thank you for all of your support and everything else throughout the process that is ahead of me. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Bye.